And what we have here is a Yamaha Pacifica. Yamaha Pacifica. And cute little guitar. Looks like it could be an ebony nut, I don't know. The only thing I know that's wrong with this guitar is that some of the electrics are upside down. Everything's inside it, the pots and all. I'll have a good look at that. I'm looking at it now from a sort of just a general point of view. There's not too much wear in the frets. I'll give them a bit of a polish. All the screws are with it. The intonation doesn't look like it's set, but it could be. But I'll give that all a check. Doesn't look to be any damage on the back. What does that say? PAC12, I don't know what that means. Speak English. And a serial number, I presume. Let's forget the lighting, right? No particular damage on the neck. The back looks nice. Lovely colour of a plate on the back. A couple of little scratches, which we might be able to buff out. And overall, it looks pretty nice condition. Comes with a strap. Let's take that off. The neck looks pretty good. So overall, I don't see an awful lot wrong with this, except for maybe just the electrics that need to be fixed. I'll have a look at the other side of the guitar to see if any chips or damages. None that I can see in first. But again, with this Yamaha Pacifica, I will, a couple of scuffs there, right, and the electrics we haven't looked at yet. But again, with this one, this is just saying hello to the Yamaha Pacifica. It's a lovely colour blue. You've seen this before, marking a blue marker across the tops of all the frets, which I've done. And then when I use my little block file sander, if there's any blue marks left, they're sitting lower. So that you have to keep it all smooth, this little blue marker, up and down, sort of sideways and round. But if there's any blue markers left on the thing, you take it all down a little bit more. All right, not bore you with that either. Checking the frets, but we got a little issue we need to deal with. A little bit of a rock there. See the rock? You can hear it more than you can see it. And it happens on a couple of other, where is that? So I'm just going to rub up and down the frets, get the frets right. They're not too bad down at the bottom end. It's more at the top end, surprisingly. A little bit there, which is, you always get that on the neck, but I'll rub that down too. Right. I'll do the whole thing, bring them all down a little bit. But I'll use my little trusty smoothing block. Go. Okay, and then I'm not going to crown them because they don't need to be crowned, but I may have to after I do my smoothing, but they do need to be polished. Alright, I'm not going to bore you with that. I'm just going to tape it up now and then I'll do it. We're going to do one of these to let you see. Everybody can see that. Bit of tape each side, some 600. I've already leveled frets and I've crowned them a little bit, but not much. I'll crown them again with a proper, well, 2000. Excuse me. Just running 600 over them first, and then a little bit of 2000 to give them a polish. And then after I've done that, I'll just use a little bit of polish paste to bring them up. But that's what you do, just going down the frets, taking away any little scars. Making the fingers smooth to run down there so we have a Jimi Hendrix experience. Okay, the frets are nicely polished. Fretboard's cleaned. Now just a little bit of salt and vinegar. Fish and chips. Actually, it's lemon oil. Lemon oil is specially developed for guitar heads, because if the wood gets cracked, it can become dry. Sorry, my head. If the wood becomes dry, it can become cracked. Yeah, I didn't say I could speak properly. That's a little bit more than what I wanted to put on, but it doesn't matter. It'll soak into the wood and then I can wipe it off again. But that's looking mighty fine. I'm going to let that sit, dry in a little bit. Check the neck, check the head, check the thing, check the dee da dum da dee da dee dum da da. Well, there's nothing to see here. It's actually pretty boring. Wires missing and wires untangled, so all I'm going to do is put wires together. But I'm told that it's soothing to people, relaxing to watch them doing it. So I'm putting the middle pickup into the middle part of a 5-way switch. That was messy looking, but it's solid. Feck it! That was an uncomfortable, awkward moment. But what, as I say, this is the second time I've done this, because I'd found that when it was soldered at the factory, that allowed a blob of solder to go down the back and earth the second polarity switch. So hopefully, can't say yeah, well, they're firm enough. I'm going to put a little blob of wax over them, I think, because I'm not completely happy with them. The difficulty with doing this kind of work is that you can't really 100% test this until you put the whole guitar back together and a couple of strings on it. So I'm going to have to do that. Alright. Right, let's switch this on and see if we get any sound. Just see. Bum, bum, bum. Ooh, we've got sound. There. Bit of a hiss. We've got sound. It's the back humbuckers. Middle pickup. Top. Well, middle and top. Middle. Double. And there. Now let's get this up to tune. Let's get it tuned. Intonation. Had a bit of a tweak at the intonation. Bored yet? Slightly flat. I'll make a little bit of adjustment. Now, one thing I noticed whenever I was doing my initial inspection is something that I don't like to see. There's a tiny crack there. It looks like this is notorious on these type of guitars. There's a tiny hairline crack there, but it is so small it doesn't need anything done with it. But we have to be very careful when we're doing the height, anything with the neck in future. So be warned, if anybody ever does anything with the neck in future, not to over tighten it. Let's check for neck straightness, which I did earlier when I was first investigating this thing. Oh, that sounds nice. That sounds nice. Perfect. Just a little bit of a bow in the middle, which is what I like. Don't have to touch it, but I'll check the string height. Check the string height now. Let me just see. People would complain about that being too low, but on these kind of guitars, they like it low. The 6 string, so it looks all pretty good. Yeah, intonation just needs a little tweak. Yamaha Pacifica. Well, that's it. Electrics are all fixed. And the back humbucker. Nice little guitar. So, what was done to it? Fretboard was leveled. Some of the frets were high, they were lowered. Fretboard was oiled. Electronics were re-soldered. These were, I'm going to say moisturized. They were loosened because they were a bit tight. The switch had to be reconnected again and re-soldered. All the strings. These are the original strings. But the B string broke, so I had to put a temporary B string on. So when the owner gets it, I would suggest he just changes the B string because all the other strings are okay. I give it a bit of a polish and a buff up, check the heads, check the inside, and it's all working fine. There's a little crack here in the neck where they all tend to crack, a tiny thing. It's the beginning of a crack, but just have to be very careful and not swing it about like an axe. But other than that, it's a lovely, lovely little guitar. It plays very well. Everything works well. You hear the tone control, you know. And that's it. Go back to its owner now. Cheerio!